Back on HQ Post Round on what was a landslide Sunday for the Tour's newest winner in Lee Hodges. Over 72 holes, Hodges methodically dismantling the test at TPC Twin Cities. 25 birdies, just a handful of bogeys, and a pair of Sunday eagles, all adding up to a 7-shot victory for the 28-year-old who entered the week 4 spots out of the playoff, now with his eyes perhaps on East Lake. And for more, we head into the Super Tower where CBS Sports lead golf analyst Trevor Immelman is standing by. Trevor, career week here for Lee Hodges, and it feels like each and every week we're talking about somebody doing something spectacular on tour here. But when we're talking about world number 110 coming into the week, winning by 7, what's the thought that comes to mind that really highlighted this performance?
Well, look, he's shown a lot of potential for a long time. He was a standout in his last 2 years at Alabama, so we knew that he had the potential. Hasn't gotten off to the greatest start as a professional career, but was just starting to get better and better and better. And this, his second season, has had a number of good performances. In 2022, he had an opportunity with a 54-hole lead at the American Express. Learned a lot, finished third there that week. But this week, everything just fell his way, in his lap. His game was just almost perfect from start to finish. So few mistakes. And then today, to be coming out here with a 5-shot lead, and you go ahead and make 2 eagles during the round, that sure does go ahead and put things to bed. So extremely impressive golf from Lee Hodges. It was a lot of fun for us here on site to be a part of that and watch how well he played. Quite
composed to not have one, to now have one, and to do it in the fashion that he did it. I mean, Georgia blowout last week, Tide rolling this week. We're getting ready for SEC on CBS football here, Trevor. It's coming in short order, but it's been an SEC couple of weeks here on tour as well. We sort of allude to it there, the talent and the depth in talent on the PGA Tour right now. I know you're long and well acquainted with that depth and talent, but to see it from that chair all season, does it change your perspective at all on what it means to win in today's game?
Well, it sure is difficult, and you've hit the nail on the head there. You look at players all throughout the PGA Tour roster. Almost anybody can win any given week. I mean, the talent is just so deep. The golf that gets played is just incredible. And if you just isolate this performance from Lee Hodges, I mean, he just blew right by the tournament record that was at 21 under, now is at 24 under. Incredible golf from him right from Thursday when he got off to that hot start with a 63. He backed that up with a 64 on Friday, and then just kept his foot on the gas over the weekend when the pressure really got its most. But yeah, it's been a fantastic season on the PGA Tour. The excitement has been heightened with the new FedEx Cup rules, with the playoffs only getting the top 70 players. And so it's really getting pretty tight there in that top 70. And next week at the Wyndham is going to be a thrilling week as well, to just see which the final 70 are that are going to make their way to Memphis and the FedEx.
Yeah, Hodges, our 11th first-time winner on tour this season. You think we've only handed out 43 of these things. We are on to week 44 of 44. And as you said, massive implications, every swing that these guys make. As we try and make sense of that FedEx Cup landscape, Ryder Cup rosters on both sides, I'm interested in your experience on the matter, having assembled and led the most recent international squad at the President's Cup. Can you give us an idea of what captains might be looking for over these final few weeks of sample size to make those hard decisions at the back end of those rosters?
Yeah, look, it's anxious times for the captains right now, because there's a number of players that you would have had in your mind, a squad, so to speak, over the last 18 months or so. Some of the players have lost some form, and then you've had other players that jump into the names that stand out to me from an American perspective is not too many people, no disrespect to Brian Harman, but not too many people would have had his name in the hat to be on the American team at this Ryder Cup. But with his beautiful play and that incredible win at the Open Championship, he's going to absolutely be in Rome. And then on the flip side, you've got Justin Thomas, who a year ago would have been one of the favorites to be on the team. He's one of the stalwarts. He's always played beautifully in team competition at the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup, and he's on the outside looking in right now. So it's going to be a wonderful few weeks for us as golf fans to see how these teams start to shape up. And I will absolutely be watching from my couch in Orlando in September. It's going to be a fun Ryder Cup.
43 weeks down, just one to go in the PGA Tour regular season. Trevor, a massive thank you is also in order here, what you've brought to the broadcast each and every week. We're so thrilled for the weeks and years to come. Appreciate you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Moose. Good to join you.
And remember, there are no two shots that are the same in golf. That's why you need a ball that's designed to perform better on every type of shot. Introducing the TP5 and TP5X from TaylorMade. Try it. What's the best that can happen? Scan the QR code to learn more. All right, let's get you back out to TPC Twin Cities, where our boots on the ground, Doug Bell, stopping by after the long walk. Doug, we always appreciate you. You just got done talking with Lee Hodges. Not too many people get him between final putt and trophy, but you did. What can you tell us about what's running through that man right now?
Well, it's his first win. He'd never been in the final group on a Sunday before, Joe. And I said, did you ever find yourself looking ahead like, boy, I'm close to doing this or that? And he said, he never, ever got ahead of himself, which I thought was amazing for a man who's only been on the PGA Tour for 2 years. But he said mentally he was focused all day long. He hit incredible shots. And Joe, he's heard from a lot of folks from his hometown, Ardmore, Alabama. 2,800 people live in Ardmore. His wife, Savannah, was here. His college coach, Jay Sewell, was here. He's waiting for a text message from who? Nick Saban. Coach Saban loves golf and said it'll make it all worthwhile if he gets the text message from the GOAT here in the next hour or so.
I'm sure that he will be getting that text from Coach Saban, who is always in correspondence with Justin Thomas, another Crimson Tide proud. We'll get to JT perhaps here in a moment, but we are talking about someone outside of the top 100 in the world golf rankings winning a tournament by 7. Name the tournament what you want. Play it on the moon. That is impressive. When you sort of take this confluence of events into effect of what we just saw, Doug, I don't want to overstate it, but the fact that a guy that far down the world rankings can win by this many, what does that tell you?
Well, it shows you and it tells me that it's such a razor-thin line from the best players in the world, the Scotty Schefflers, the John Rahms, and the Rory McIlroys, and then drop it down to a guy like Lee Hodges. It's a razor-thin line, and anybody on the PGA Tour is capable of capturing lightning in a bottle. And this was the best week of Lee Hodges' career. Now, listen, he played well last year. He made the PGA Tour playoffs. And as you mentioned, coming into this week, he was in the mid-70s trying to get into the playoffs. Now he's easily inside, close to the top 30. So again, he picked the right time to get hot. He'll play next week at the Wyndham Championship. And who knows, we don't want to get too carried away because this was a phenomenal week. And he hit some incredible shots, especially in the par 5s on Sunday. But give Lee Hodges credit. He's not a household name, but he deserves to be here. And he proved it this week against a very good field at the 3M Open.
Yeah, we know how much pride these guys take in not only winning, but finding themselves on that final week of the season on CBS, that being at Eastlake. We'll see if that's where Lee Hodges' story ends this season. The FedEx Cup, as we know, will sort itself out. It's just the way that it works. The Ryder Cup, though, it's a lot less cut and dry right now, Doug. I know we're going to have the conversation here over the next few weeks, but how much weight should be put into these late season performances? Are you looking at the latter half of the season more than you are performances early on? What matters to you as we have these conversations around the Ryder Cup?
Well, Joe, there's two categories. Do you go with experience and track record, or do you go with the hot guy right now? And I tend to lean to the latter. I go with the people who are playing well right now. Justin Thomas, for example, it's going to be a long shot for him to even make the FedEx Cup playoffs. I mean, he's in the 80 range heading into the final week of the regular season. I just don't think Justin Thomas deserves a nod because of his track record. Impressive, yes, but he's not playing good golf right now. Tony Finau has played well all season, but since the Mexico Open up until this week, hasn't fared well as well. He's 16th in the point standings for the Ryder Cup. Did you give Tony Finau a nod? I don't know. Right now, Joe, I think if you're asking me for the Ryder Cup, I'd go with chalk. You have your 6 auto picks, and then Zach Johnson after the BMW will have 6 captains picks. And I believe you go with chalk. The guys who are 6 through 12 or 7 through 12, they deserve to be on that Ryder Cup team. You can't leave a guy like Keegan Bradley off. There's no way. So I don't think you can go by reputation. I think you have to go with the man who is the hot golfer right now.
Keegan still with his bags packed from 2014. Maybe he can finally undo them after a win in Rome. Again, the American side has not won in Europe since 1993, and volatility is not what these captains are looking for between sessions. Doug Bell, we are always looking for you, and we always appreciate you taking the long walk for us. Kick the shoes off. Rest up.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, here's a look At that Roll Tide roll, Hodges, the proud Alabama product, collecting his first career PGA Tour victory, does it in wire-to-wire fashion by 7 shots when all's said and done. And with this, Hodges becomes the 11th first-time winner on the PGA Tour this season.